Okay, so I got a bit of a clearer picture of who some of these girls are. It took 4 weeks, but I got it. I got it. Okay, let's talk about it.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine LA. This is season 1, episode 4. As I said, I have a more clear picture. I'm getting, it's taking a while to actually get to know them. Like, just when you think you got it, then some things just don't make sense. I think everything kind of came into view this week. And I'm going to say the two that were confusing me the most was Asha and Shanique. Asha and Shanique do not like each other. Period. Flat out. They don't care for each other. And that's the vibe that I actually get. I just think that they just don't care for each other. And there's a bit of pretentiousness that actually came out with Miss Jasmine. I was like, oh, I kind of thought that, but then the last episode made me kind of say, oh, okay, Jasmine's okay. But then, no, she showed me some stuff that I didn't really care for this week. But anyway, let's just start from the beginning here. Shanique um, was taken up for Jasmine. There was actually this little meeting with Imani and Britten. It was Imani, Britten, and Shanique were actually out, and she took up for her friend. She did that. She took up for her. She took up for Jasmine when um, they were talking about the whole "this looks like a drug dealer's house" and all of that. She took up for her. She took up for her friend, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Um, After that, Imani said, a couple people have some things going on. So I think we're going to just do like let's lock ourselves up in a room and everybody just put everything out and then we could get it all cleared up. So I said, okay, well, we'll see how that goes. After that, we actually got to see Dr. Britten at work. I enjoy seeing her at work. She has bedside manner that I think that's like the key to a great doctor is bedside manner. You can't buy it. You either have it or you don't, and she has it. So it's enjoyable to actually see her, dealing with patients. And she actually had a patient. Her name was Robin. She was a cancer patient, and she was having some surgery done. And she went in and she talked to her about the anesthesia and all of that stuff. And then she went back in and she checked on her after the fact. I like seeing it. That's just my thing. That's my thing. I love a doctor with good bedside manner, and that is definitely Dr. Britten. Anyway, moving on. Then we see Noelle and Asha. I actually do like seeing Asha and Noelle together. I enjoy seeing them. They have a genuine friendship. I believe that, and I think it's more so on one hand than the other. Noelle, I think she really loves Asha. She rides hard for Asha. Asha is her friend. She really cares for Asha. Um, Asha is a bit much, and I'm finding that out as we go forward. Asha's a bit much. Some of the things that Shanique says about Asha is so true. She is a drama queen. She is extra. She is a bit self-centered. And I think in the midst of some of that, I get a little bit of delusion with a couple things. But is it delusion or is it you actually just putting off? Are you delusional or are you trying to pull the wool over our eyes? Which is it? But I'll say this. The reason I say it's a one-sided friendship, we've seen how Noel rides for Asha. Do I actually believe that Asha will ride like that for Noel? No, I do not. No, I do not. I think she is that friend that wants to be babied and everybody needs to come to my aid because I am so important. That's the vibe that she gives me, which in turn is going to make me not like Asha. Yep, I'm telling you now. That's going to make me not like Asha. And she seems to play a role in a game to a fault to the point where, do I think she would lie to get her way? And you know how I feel about that. I can't stand people who lie. So I just, I don't know. I got my good eye on Asha. Moving on. We have a scene with Robert and Shanique and their kids. And they're speaking about bullying. Dealing with bullies and how you deal with that. Now Shanique was actually taking the right approach. And she was kind of, telling the kids different ways in which to maneuver when it comes to things like that. Honey, here come Robert through it. He talking about just slam them on their head. That's it. Really, Robert? Really? On screen? Okay. I just laughed at him. I was like, slam them on the head. All right, whatever. Moving on. Even though their mother's a bit of a bully, she can be. I could see it all in her, honey. She got a little bully thing going on, but whatever. I just laughed at him. I was like, whatever. Moving on. Dr. Britten was talking to her husband, and it was just more of that, the house war, more of the house war. And I'm like, okay, so this is week 4, and we're still talking about you're gonna have to do something with this because that storyline is going to get on my nerves. After a minute, it's going to start to drag. It's starting to get to yeah. We're gonna have to move that along. We're gonna have to move that along. Um, we see Noelle and her daughter. They actually went out shopping for uniforms. She's going to the 6th grade now, so she's moving on. And again, this whole conversation of um, bullying and meeting new kids and possibly being not ostracized, but just kind of she's getting ready to go into a thing of her daughter was very positive about. Oh, I got this all under wraps. I'm fine. I know how to handle myself. And Noelle doesn't feel as though she does. She said, I don't know if she really knows what she's going to be facing when she goes to the new school. I think it's going to be like a culture shock to her. So I think we're going to actually see some more of that later. Because again, mothers know their daughters. So, but she was very, very confident. Her daughter, very confident that she was going to be fine and she knew how to handle herself. So I'll be interested to see going forward what actually happens and how she actually works through it. A new school is always an issue. We've all been through that. We all been through that. Okay, so then we actually see Asha. And I'm really hard on Asha this episode. I know I am. I know I'm being hard on Asha, but it is what it is. Asha goes and she has a sit down. It's like a little table read, a little personal table read back and forth with one of the execs from Days of Our Lives. And I wanted to smack Asha in her mouth. I was so over her. I was like, are you kidding me? And by the way, she's on Star. She's on the show Star. She's actually playing Star's aunt, I believe. She's one of her aunts. No, it's not Star's aunt, but it's Gigi's aunt, the one girl Gigi. She's playing her aunt. And basically, it was funny because she's just Asha. That her whole demeanor is just Asha. But anyway, so him and her are going through the script, and she does it, and it was very lackluster when she delivered the lines, very lackluster. And he says, "Can I get you to do it with a little more attitude?" And then she goes into this whole thing of when they say they want you to do it with a little more attitude, that's like a little more black, like a little more black woman. Okay. Now, I didn't take offense to anything the man said. Now, if he would have come out of his mouth and said, "I want you to do it a little more like more sister like, or more like, a home girl," if he would have said something like that, then I would have kind of felt some kind of way. But he said what he said, and you tell me whatever. If that's how you view what it is that he wants, deliver. We're talking about, see, the bottom line is green. You're trying to get a job. The bottom line is green. You are a black woman. Is there something wrong with being a black woman? Sometimes a role calls for that black woman with that attitude, because a white woman can't carry off the attitude that they're actually looking for. So was it so wrong for him to ask for that? There's no, I didn't take offense to it. I mean, there are women, ethnic women have a way about them that other women envy a lot of times. So why is that an issue? That's not an issue. Our women are more sturdy, and they take up for themselves. And that's something that people envy and admire about a black woman. So I didn't get where Asha was coming from. It fell into the description that they actually give us about you, Asha, is that you want the world to bend to you, and you want to play victim. And you were putting yourself in a victim state, and there was nobody victimizing you. This man is just trying to get what he's trying to get. It's an acting job. I mean, is it me? I just didn't get it. I mean, I know whenever, listen, any type of auditioning that I've actually done, I've actually read scripts that came and I auditioned for a little thing, and it told me I want it like this, and it was, very blunt as to what they were looking for. So that didn't offend me. I don't know. Maybe it was me. You all put in the comments and tell me what you thought. I think this just plays into is showing me who Asha is as a person, and she's very irritating. She's very, very irritating. She was very irritating to me on this episode for some reason, but whatever. I don't know. Y'all tell me if it was just me. Maybe I'm sleepy. I don't know. Moving forward. She came across very condescending as well. Um, Shanique and Jasmine were actually on their way to the Imani's function, and so Shanique decides to tell Jasmine what was actually said at the table. And I'm sitting there, and I said, "This is why I'm saying. This is why I said that she can be a bit of a bully." Shanique, Shanique is very calculated. She's very calculated. She was, in fact, inserting the battery into Jasmine's back at that point, is what she was doing. Because why would you tell her that on the way to this thing? You should have said that to her days ago. I would have said it to my friend days ago. I'd be like, "Girl, listen, this is what's going on." If I'm gonna spill the tea, on the way there, on the way there, that Jasmine was hot, baby. She was hot. She said, "Oh," she said, "I just want to use some curse words." That's why I was like, "Girl, you getting corny. You're giving me corny. Go on and say what you want to say." Because once she got there, you was cussing like a motherfucker. So go on and say what you want to say. But in that car is where I got that whole "I'm here and you're not on my level," and it got real nasty and into that. And I was like, really? It didn't come across nice because you don't really do anything. You don't do anything. And if that man decides he don't want to be bothered with you no more tomorrow, your whole life will change. Dr. Imani's life is not going to change. So I just kind of didn't like where she was actually going with it, that you actually went to this class thing. I live here and she lives there. And that's why she thought my house was this, because she ain't never seen that. And this, I was like, that don't look good. And at this point, I'm going to say, y'all know I really do like Imani, but Imani's wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong for what she said. You know what I mean? Even if you thought it, you should have said that to your friend. And that's it. She should have just said that to Britten. She could have said that to Britten, and they could. That's kitchen table talk. Her and Britten can have that kind of talk, and that's it. It would have went no further because Britten wouldn't have said anything. But for her to say that first, Shanique, you were wrong, Imani, and I like you, but whatever kind of falls on your lap from that, baby, you kind of deserve it. You gonna have to take it. You have to take that one on the chin because you're wrong. But anyway, moving on. So they get there and they roll in like nothing's going on. And Imani greets them and she hugs Shanique, and then she goes to hug Jasmine, and she's like, Jasmine, give me a hug. And she's like, no. Now I'm gonna give her that. Cause she stood in her shit. She stood in her shit. She told her, no, I'm not hugging you. She said, are you mad at me or something? She said, I'm upset with your actions and your words. So I can't even be mad. I didn't like the class thing she was doing, but as far as not being fake and not being funny, I gotta give her props. I gotta give her props. She stood right in it. And I don't know if I'd have been even playing the game and coming in there eating. I probably would just came in there and let her have it and went on, or either didn't come. It'd have been one of them two. I don't think I've been getting no plate. I don't want no plate. I'm mad. If I'm that mad, I don't want no goddamn plate. I came here to tell you that you're a bitch, and that's it. That's where I would have been with it. But they go to the table and they get ready to start talking, and she says, "This is a truth, trust, and transparency." And that damn Jasmine couldn't hold herself. She started laughing at it, and she said, well, wait a minute. You three tell me what was said when y'all was at the table, when y'all was out the other day. Tell me about that." They're like, "Oh, we're going to get to it." She said, "No, let's get to it now, because I can't sit here and just be fake with you. I just can't do it." I was like, okay, I ain't mad at Jasmine with that. I'm not mad at Jasmine about that shit right there. I was like, okay, now that's what I'm talking about. And then Shanique had the nerve to sit there and act like she was so shocked. You put the battery in her back before y'all came up the steps. Now that was shady. I said, And then she, listen, I'm going to tell you in 1 second. So they said, well, we're going to talk about that. Hold on. Let's move over here. We'll move to the couch. So when they move to the couch, immediately it starts being this thing with Asha and Shanique. They get their thing out there. And Shanique was just start blurting out what she had to say. And Noelle immediately came to Asha's aid. And she was riding. And I was like, I like you, Noelle. I like you a lot. I really do. I like Dr. Noelle. But baby, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Your friend is being over dramatic. She was over dramatic. And Asha should not have brought her ass to that party. And I believe that Shanique told her something on the phone. She did lead on. There was enough information leaked out that she knew. I'm going for. She knew that the girl was going to be, that Anissa was going to be at the party. She knew that. And you made a conscious decision to come. And then you literally sat there with saying, yeah, you said she was going to be there, but I didn't know you were going to say her name and you were going to be talking to her. So what did you think she was going to do? She going to bring her to the party and then treat her like, and then ostracize her and treat her like an outsider? That was just stupid. That was stupid. It didn't make any sense. And it was very childish. And it was very dramatic. I was like, oh, it just, Didn't come across, didn't look good. But Noelle stood in there and tried to stand up for her friend. I was like, Dr. Noelle, shh. And Shanique told her, I don't think she liked either one of them. I really don't. I don't believe she likes Noelle or Asha. And she talked to Noelle pretty bad. She told her, you're just, I don't believe you have a brain. You're just like, she's the puppeteer, you're a little puppet. I was like, oh, God. But she wasn't lying. That's how it came across. She really wasn't lying. That's how it came across. And she called him out. But at the same time, you had puppeteered Jasmine. So it's the same thing because your friendship with Jasmine is kind of the same. And I'm gonna tell you what I see in their friendship. In their friendship, Shanique seems to kiss Jasmine's ass and make Jasmine feel like she's special because Jasmine has more. She makes her feel like she's special, but all along, she knows she pretty much seems like she's the only real friend Jasmine got, and she is basically really leading Jasmine around, but Jasmine don't realize it. Jasmine feel like she's leading her around because she's a goon. So that's kind of what I get from them. But anyway, that was a mess. So then they're going back and forth. And then she told her, girl, I don't want to hear it. It was what it was. You should have stayed your butt home. She's my husband's friend. It is what it is. Um, you being over dramatic, as usual. And then Asha proved her right. Um, then Shanique hit under the belt. I can't say that I agree with this. Said, you're just mad, girl. You're mad or you're jealous. You're feeling some kind of way. Because 6 years ago, that your husband was engaged to that woman. He asked that woman to marry him. And then 4 years ago, they were still going back and forth. So that basically put out in the atmosphere in front of all the ladies that her husband was cheating on her. And baby, that all show was hot. I said, yeah, that didn't have to be said. That didn't have to be said in that arena. It was a dig. It was a dig and it was a jab. But oh well, it was what it was. I mean, and she didn't have to go that hard because she was winning the argument. Asha wasn't getting a word in edgewise. She wasn't getting a word in. Shanique was running the thing from the whole. She was yelling and what, letting nobody get a word in edgewise. She didn't even have to cut her that low, but she did. She did. And that's what made when she did that. When she did that, put that out in front of those ladies. I said, she don't like her. She don't like her at all. Because it seems as though they have the most history of all the ladies. She could have called her on the phone and said that. That was ugly. I was like, oh God. And they were like, wait a minute, what? Whoa, hold on. And they're like, all this tea, and then Britten was in her confessional, like, oh my God. Now, then after that, you saw Asha's real character come out when she started going around the table or around the couches and wanted each individual person to call out Shanique. I said, what does that cure? Where is that even going? I don't even understand what that is. You really do think you're the puppet master. And he said, well, I'm going to get up and I'm leaving. So here you go again with another fancy exit. And everybody has to go running after Asha. Damn Asha. Asha needs to woman up and stop playing these games. She is over dramatic and she is ridiculous. She is ridiculous with that garbage. That was garbage. That was total garbage of her. I was like, oh gosh. Anyway, but yeah, I said, oh, I see Miss Asha, you gonna get on my nerves real good. And I still got to keep my damn good left eye on that god dog on just Jasmine. Cause I think, yeah, them two. You two, I gotta watch. Anyway, y'all leave in the comments. Tell me what y'all thought, and I'll see y'all next week. Later.